Welcome back to the Honey Jam podcast. I'm your host, Janice.
I'm Jessica.
I was really looking forward to today's episode.
Aw.
Well, one, because I just miss you, Jess.
We saw each other on Friday for Danielle's graduation
Oh, we
celebration.
did. So our good friend Danielle Ju has finally graduated graduate school. She's going to be a school psychologist. And, we haven't been out. We hadn't been out like that I haven't.
Oh, I haven't. Trust me, I haven't either.
I know. And Jess was down. She drove all the way from OC to K-Town, LA. And let me tell you, we partied it up.
It was really fun. And it was interesting because I feel like we haven't been in a space where we met a lot of new people at once, because we're just at that age where we're comfortable within our friend circles, and we don't have that many opportunities to meet new people. Danielle gathered all of her friends, from church, from school, from everywhere and anywhere. And she was kind of nervous at first because she thought oh my gosh, it's going to be awkward. But it happened to be completely fine, as we assured her. And we all had a good time celebrating Danielle, most importantly.
I think, Jess, you went home at 11:30. Record.
I was very proud because I was not the first person to leave. Usually I'm the first person to leave. But there were a handful of people who left before me.
I know, and I was very impressed. You didn't seem very tired either. Usually your eyes were halfway closed towards the end of the night.
Are you sure? I was exhausted.
I almost convinced you to come to 노래방 with us at the end.
You did. But I couldn't because I had such a long weekend planned, so I just couldn't.
Yeah, I had to respect that. You're a mom. You have a kid. You're going to wake up at 6 a.m.
That's right.
I couldn't hold you back. That's selfish of me. But I, on the other hand, stuck around with Danielle, Spake, and Jenny, and we went to 노래방 and stayed until what time was it? Well, I got home by 1 a.m.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I got home by 1 and I slept at 3 a.m.
Oh, you partied hard.
너무, I think because it had been such a long time since I was out. I was just so excited. My body was just you're not going to sleep.
Wow.
You're staying up.
Okay, that's how you know that you and I are both extroverted, because usually extroverts, when they come back from a social function, meeting a lot of people, they come back and they're energized, right? And then,
yeah,
on the other hand, introverts, they're just wiped and, they need to charge by being alone. But I feel the same way because every week I have community groups, right? Community group where I meet with people from my church in our a local area, and we meet every week just to hang out and discuss the Word of God and fellowship together. But it's so funny because we do it every week, so it's it's just what is it? It's a rhythm, right? Where you just meet the same people and you're getting to know them and you're fellowshipping. But after every community group meeting, I come home and I'm so energized. My heart is beating and I can't sleep. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened. That's what happened last time when we were just beginning our podcast and we're so discouraged.
Yeah.
Because there were so many technical difficulties. It was 11 p.m. and Jess messages me, Janice, we're doing this damn thing. I'm like, what happened? And you're I just came out of community group. I'm pumped. I can't sleep. We got to do this episode right now. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. That's what happened. Yeah, I came back from community group and I was so pumped and ready to go. So I think that's how our second episode or first episode? I don't remember. Wow. Which episode are we on?
Jess, we are on episode 7, number 7.
Wow. That's amazing.
Can you believe that?
I cannot.
It's only getting better from here.
I feel like you want to say a different phrase.
Yeah. What do I want to say?
It's only uphill from here? Is it uphill or downhill? Because technically when you go downhill, it's easier.
Oh, that's true. I think what I want to say is, the future is bright.
Yes, definitely.
Wait, but also, how was your week? Is he still sick?
We had a great week. Hui is not sick, thank God. And this is actually my final week before summer break. I go on summer break. So today is Wednesday, May 29th is when we're recording this episode. But on Friday, literally the last day of May is when my summer break begins. So
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
what do you mean? Oh, I see. Like in terms of taking care of Hui.
Yeah.
So it is a good thing because for the whole month of June, we're still going to have our caretaker come and work part-time. So I'm going to have days where I have someone watching Hui and I'm going to be pretty free. So I'm going to, you know, meet with friends, take care of myself. I want to look into like Pilates or like Orange Theory.
Oh.
And I just kind of want to like, you know, exercise a little bit because I've been very out of shape and I just feel kind of gross these days. But I'm really looking forward to kind of indulging myself the month of June. And then Hui starts daycare in July. So I'll be even more free. But I feel like I'll be too nervous. Like I'll be too worried about him because it's his first time. So we'll see. Day by day.
He's going to daycare already?
He is. Yeah, he's going to go to daycare in July. My son, I love Hui. I love being his mom. And
but he bullies you.
yes, precisely. He is getting a personality of his own. He's developing, you know, his personality, and he's starting to have a lot of like big feelings, you know. But on top of that, he can't communicate as well as what he's feeling. So I think like that frustration makes him bully me.
Because he can't yet like express in words what's bothering him. So he just releases his anger on you.
He just has like the biggest frown on his face. And then if I tell him like, no, Hui, no, and then I like restrain him from doing something, like his immediate response is like frown and then like trying to hit me. And I'm like, 자식이. Like that has been like 붙어있어. It's like
자식이.
I've been repeating that word, 자식이, which means like you little rascal, right?
Yeah. So are you going to eventually like, you know, give him a good spanking, you think?
Okay, super funny. Like I remember, I forgot who said this, but we were like talking about like, oh, is it okay to spank your kids? Like, what do you guys think? And then the parent was like, dude, this is him with spanking. Like, if we didn't spank, like, what do you think he would have, you know, ended up? So I guess like it depends on the child, but like I have a feeling with Hui, we gotta spank him.
Did you grow up getting spanked?
No, never.
Same.
But with girls, I think it is a little different because girls, like, they're a little bit more emotional. And I think they hold on to things a little bit more. But with boys, they're more, I guess, like a little bit like rascals and more behavioral. But they're very kure, you know? They let things go and, you know. So I don't know. With Hui, we'll see. But just I have a feeling that he's going to get some spankings.
Oh, shoot. You're going to leave that to Josh to do?
The Bible says do not spare the rod.
Oh.
So I always tell Josh, like, I kind of want him to be the good cop and me the bad cop. But it's hard because just like our personalities, Josh is the more like stern one.
Yeah.
That has been like on my mind, like how to discipline Hui and how to raise him up to be a kind boy. Because that's what I really want. Like every night we pray for Hui before he sleeps, and we really pray that he be kind and courageous and, you know, really be someone who can edify and encourage others. So I guess that it starts with our parenting, right?
Wow. That's beautiful, Jess.
It's hard. It's really hard. Yeah. But sorry, before I ask you about your week, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Jane Kim.
Yes, Jane Kim. She will be a guest on our podcast in season 2. She has just announced her pregnancy. Baby Boba is on the way. Yay! We love you, Jane. We can't wait to have you on the pod.
We're so happy for you. And honestly, I thought she was having a girl, and I wanted them to have a girl because I think Jane really wanted a daughter.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that it's a boy because she's joining me.
Yeah. She'll know. She'll understand the pain.
She'll know. She'll know.
And by the time she comes on our podcast, she will
Yeah.
she'll be like have a full belly, I think.
Jane.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like the cutest prego lady.
I want to see her doing like some TikTok dances with a full belly.
Yes. Congrats, Jane and Alon.
Congratulations, you guys. Going back on the spanking though, you know David got spanked until he was like in high school.
Same for Josh.
Oh, really?
Josh was saying like he's not gonna do it like up to that long because he's like it's not effective at that point. As a child, it's like maybe you just have. I heard that like you have to like teach them black and white when they're kids. Like 이거는 안 돼. This is wrong. This is right. You know.
David said that his mom stopped when she realized that her strength was too weak compared to his. Like she was like hitting him. He's like, do it again. Yeah, but you and I, we didn't get spanked growing up. And yeah, maybe it is different. It is different for girls and boys. My sister actually got spanked though.
Oh, really? I guess it's like depending on like your personality and like for me, my dad has never even like raised his voice at me.
Wow.
Because I'm like super 막내. I'm the youngest. And my sister's 8 years older than me. My brother's 6 years older than me. So, and my dad, we call it 기러기 아빠, right? What's 기러기 in English? So basically, 기러기 is like when the dad stays in their hometown and they send off like their family to somewhere else, right? So we immigrated to the United States and my dad stayed in Korea. And so he is a 기러기 아빠. But it wasn't, we didn't see my dad often, like maybe like twice every year. So that's not too much. And he would stay at most like 2 weeks, you know? So if you think about it, like our time with him was super precious and I'm his 막내. So I feel like for my dad, he didn't want to spend that time like ever punishing me or, you know, raising his voice at me. Yeah. So my dad, he's never, ever. My mom, on the other hand, she's been pretty feisty with me. Wait, I have a story with my mom, which I always tell. I have actually, now that I think about it, I have a lot of good stories about my mom. My mom is very 엉뚱해, which means she's very like,
fourth dimensional.
She's a very smart woman. Yes. My mom is very smart. She's very passionate. She's an amazing woman of God. But she has her ditzy moments, especially with like English, right? Because she really likes to speak English.
Yeah.
And she's very passionate about learning. But she mixes up a lot of vocabulary, a lot of idioms and things like that. But then, so basically, like during my puberty phase, I was like really mean to my mom, I guess. I don't really remember too much, but like I was like fighting with my mom about something and I was being very like rude to her. And my mom, she has 사투리, she has 부산 사투리. And she's like, 너는 and I'll translate after she's like, 너는 어렸을 때는 정말 엔젤이었는데 지금은 데블이다, 데블. So she said, when you were a kid, you were such an angel, but now you're a devil.
Did you have a rebellious stage then?
I guess I did. Like, I don't recall too much, but my mom said I was like very 예민해. And like, it was like out of nowhere because she said I was so like 착해 before. So that it felt even more like crazy during my puberty phase. Even though I feel like I didn't really do anything, you know what I mean? I still studied hard and like I didn't really like disobey my mom. But I guess like in my attitude, like I was a little bit more reserved, like I didn't share as much. I was a little bit sassy. And then compared to like, you know, my kid days and even now, she's like, you're like a completely different person.
I don't remember like going through like puberty though. For me, I've always been kind of like sensitive, but I don't really remember having a rebellious stage or anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like you would have always like been good to your parents, like 말 잘 듣고, obey them.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like I was a I'm a first child, I don't know, like my parents always gave me like the trust and freedom to do whatever I wanted. And even like studying, they didn't really like force me. I kind of like put that pressure on myself. And I don't know, I always just grew up as like a good kid.
Who did you fight with more? Your mom or your dad?
I don't think I really fought with my parents. I feel like my sister really had like kind of a tumultuous childhood slash teenage years.
Classic.
And like, yeah, because like the focus was like all on her. So I think I just learned to like, you know, 말 잘 듣고 and just like be a good girl. Yeah, it is a very classic model of a older younger sister. And I think like to this day, my sister is like still kind of traumatized by that, because in a way, naturally, it just kind of became my role to be the good sister, good daughter, and then Eunice's role to be kind of like the creative, rebellious, sensitive daughter, kind of.
Yeah.
Even in your family, right, Jess? It's 3 kids, 2 daughters, 1 son, right? And you're always like the last sibling, the 막둥이. So there was always like more tension between your brother and your sister, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Even now, like they're only 2 years apart, so like they fight a lot more than I ever did with them. I feel like I never fought with my brother or sister either, because of obviously the age gap, and also like I'm scared of my sister. And then my brother, it's just like I have no reason to fight with. I think my brother and I are like more similar, like our personalities. So like we just understand each other more. And then like they're very good older siblings, so they always like 예뻐해, you know, me as the 막둥이.
Yeah.
But I kind of always like played the mediator role between my brother and my sister. So like whenever they have like conflict, my sister would come to me and be like, "Why? 왜 저래? Like what's wrong with him? Like what do you think? What's your opinion?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." And then my brother comes to me, he's like, "What's wrong with Luna? Like why is she acting like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know, like I understand like where you're coming from." And I'm like just going back and forth.
You're the peacemaker.
I am. I've been the peacemaker of this family, and it's a hard role. And I feel like you can relate too, right? You can resonate.
I mean, like my personality overall is like I don't want any conflict. I need peace. So like even with like my friends, my family, like with friends, I don't get FOMO. I don't really 삐져 easily. You know, like if I mean, if I feel like I was wronged, or like if I'm honed by something that like a friend did to me, like I'll usually keep it to myself. And like I'd rather just like brush it under the rug than bring it up and like confront the person, because I'm like so focused on just like peace.
Have you ever felt anything like that to me, Janice? And you like just kind of...
If I did, I totally forgot. Like I can't think of anything right now. I'm so like present minded. I'm just like, you know, the past is the past.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was.
I feel like you've never ever been mad at me. Like not mad. Like maybe you feel honed at times, but I feel like you're never the type to like get mad at people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're always the type to ask other people, "Are you mad?"
That's true. It's true. Well, there was only a handful of times where we fought, right, Jess?
Should we tell that story, Janice?
I think we should. I don't really remember, so Jess, you can fill in the gaps once I share the story. But basically, like we were in college and we like fought about something. I really can't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I don't remember. No, I don't.
Well, we were like bickering, and then we were on our way to the gym. And so we got to the gym, and at that point we weren't talking to each other because we were both like 삐졌어 at each other. And then we got on the treadmill and we're starting to run because we got there, you know, we had to work out. And I started to run, but then all of a sudden my stomach started hurting. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to like freaking poop in my pants right now. And so I was like, I have to tell Jess, I can't just, you know, leave her. So I was like, I just went up to her. I was like, Jess. You're like, and then you were still like kind of pissed. So you're like, what's wrong? I was like, I really need to go to the bathroom. You're like, what? I was like, yeah, I really need to go. And you're like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. And I was like looking for a bathroom. The bathroom wasn't there. And so you were like, all right, let's go back to the freaking apartment. And I was like, okay. I was like squeezing my butt cheeks. And I was like running. And I was like, dude, I feel like I'm a barf. You're like, Janice. And it was such a like panic situation that you had to help me. You know, you can't just like let me be. And so you were like trying to like get me some water, and we're like running to the apartment. I went to the bathroom, I did my thing, I came out, and you were, you know, we were like, hey. And you're like, hey, you feeling better? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. And like we made up.
Dude, you actually threw up though.
Oh yeah, I did.
Right? And it's crazy because it went from like 0 to 100. We were like, we're fighting about something. We got pizza. We arrived. We were walking to LA Fitness.
Yeah.
And then we arrived, and I was just like, and then I was like, we started like running. And then this is another thing. We were like competing. We are like going faster and faster. Because we wanted to beat each other. And then you started running faster, so I increased my speed, and then I was like running faster, and then you increased your speed, and we're like sprinting at this point. Oh, and I think what happened was I think you sprinted too fast. I think that's why like you're
무리했어.
like 속이 뒤집혔어, because you like you went from like 0 to 100 too fast, like in terms of like, you know, exercising. And then you just like pause, and you're like, when you looked over at me and you're like, Jess, I need to go to the bathroom right now. Like you're pale.
Oh my god.
You're completely pale. And I was like, oh shoot. And I was mad at you, but I like had to go with you and help you.
Yeah.
And then you were just like clenching your butt and like, you know, like
running,
walking like a duck. I was like, 어떡해, Janice? 참아야 돼. We're almost there.
Yeah.
And then we make it back safely, and you're just throwing up. I hear you throwing up. And then I went down to get you Gatorade.
Oh yeah.
I went to 7-Eleven to get you Gatorade.
Yeah,
and then I came back, and then when you came out, I gave you Gatorade, and you're like, Jess, sorry. And I was like, me too, Janice. Are you okay?
Dude, I can't. It must have been so stupid, like the reason why we fought.
Oh, I think you said like we shouldn't talk like crap about like people, Jess, or something like that. So it's kind of like in the same vein as our Germany story, but you're like, we shouldn't do this. But like,
I'm talking to you.
You're
only.
telling me. You're talking to me only. Like, we shouldn't do this, as in you shouldn't talk crap about other people. Like, don't gossip, right? Don't slander. And I was just like, Janice, like, I'm not trying to slander or gossip yet. Like, I'm sorry if it seemed like that, but I'm just trying to tell you, like, I've been having a difficult time with this person, and I'm just sharing my heart with you, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm very hurt that you would just like accuse me right away that I'm like gossiping and I'm like slandering, which is kind of stupid, you know. I mean, it is. You were right. We shouldn't talk badly about others, but I was like very defensive because I was like, I'm not like that. Like, what do you mean? I'm just like sharing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay. And then it just got awkward, and then we fought.
So what happened to Germany?
If you guys don't know, Janice and I went to a travel study program the summer before our senior year to Germany for 1 month. And we traveled across first Austria, Vienna, Austria, and then Munich. Munich. Where's that place? That like weird, like perfect place after the bombing?
I don't remember.
I forgot.
Dresden?
And then I think like the final place was Berlin, right? So we had a blast. It was honestly like, it's a core memory for me, like going there with Janice and meeting new people there. But basically, like, we were there with each other. Even before Germany, we went to Italy together because we visited just to travel and like visit my family who lives in Italy. So we were in Europe for like over a month together, just me and Janice. And we were rooming together, we were eating together, we were with each other 24/7. And honestly, like overall, it was so fun. Like I had such a blast with Janice, and like I think we actually can live together which is why we lived together for a long time, even after college, right? Because we match well, right? But there was this one time, it was a very stressful moment because we were studying for our finals, right? For our Germany final classes, for a German history class or something like that. And then the internet at our hotel was not working. Like it was very spotty, very unstable. And Janice was very, very stressed because our textbook was online and we had to access our textbooks and like our study guides and everything, just as students, we had to access from the internet.
Mhm.
And because we couldn't, she was like freaking out and she's like so stressed. She's like, dude, what are we gonna do? Like the test is tomorrow. And she's like trying to get like, like through the spotty internet, she's trying to like recall like information and trying to study.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just like, like, guys, it's totally fine. It's gonna be fine.
I don't know why you weren't stressed. I was so stressed.
And I think it's because like a part of me was like, whatever, man. Like we're, in Germany. Like if we fail this test, like whatever, it's gonna be okay. Like we're still gonna get a passing grade, and it's gonna be fine. Like I don't think it's worth like stressing over. And then also like my type is like it's kind of like a coping mechanism. I joke and I kind of like make light of the situation, even when I feel a little stressed too, right? Just to kind of alleviate the atmosphere. Yeah. I joke around a lot. Like even when I'm like kind of mad, I send like emojis because I don't know how to express my discontent.
Yes. One would say it's almost passive aggressive.
I am very passive aggressive, yeah. So just the way I cope with negative feelings, I joke, I like make light of the situation. So that's just kind of like how I am, and that's what I was doing. But Janice was getting freaking annoyed at me because like she's stressed and she wants to study.
Like, can we be serious for a second?
Yeah. And then basically I'm going like, guys, it's fine. Like, we'll get through it. It's fine, guys. Like, do we need an A? Like, it's fine. And I'm just like joking around being annoying. And Janice says, okay, I think it'll be fine if like everyone just shuts up for a second.
Wait, I said, I think it's fine, but I think we should, like, we need to just be quiet a little bit. I didn't say shut up.
No, she said everyone needs to, like, shut up. No? Didn't you say that?
No, there's no way. I remember because I was like I wanted to say something so badly because I realized looking back on it now, just you're so right. That is your coping mechanism. You kind of like try to make things very light and you kind of like become a little bit more talkative just to like lighten the environment. Yeah. But in that situation, I was not in the mood to like joke around. Like I wanted to just be serious, but like I felt like you weren't really reading the room very well. So I was like, it was like up to here. Like I wanted to say something so bad, like, but then I didn't know how to like address it. Like, Jess, can you just shut the hell up until we study? I couldn't say that, but in my mind, I was like, dude, you're distracting me right now. So the only way I could say it was in an indirect way, which was, I think it's fine, but like we just all need to be quiet. I said like that.
Yeah. And then that kind of like hit me. I was like, oh, like everyone as in me?
Yeah, because you were the only one that was talking.
I was the only one that was yapping. Yeah. Being hella annoying. And I was like, oh, okay, everyone be quiet as in me, Janice. I think I said something like that to you. Like I kind of like snapped back at you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I'm sorry. Or like I said something really like sassy back. And you're like, wait, Jess, I'm sorry.
I regretted it immediately.
Yeah, and you're like apologizing, but because I was already pissed by your remark, I like just shut down and I was just quiet and I started studying. And then you weren't that yukehe either. You weren't that you were in the mood to like puro it for me or like try to alleviate either. So you're like, okay, well, if you're gonna be pissed, then I'm gonna be pissed too. And then you shut down too. We're in the same room, so we go back to our room after studying and we're just not talking at all. And then I lay in my bed, like thinking that we're gonna go to sleep, and we're in the same bed, mind you. So imagine how like awkward it is, right? We're just not talking to each other. We're crawling into our bed, and then Janice is so yaimiwa. She's such a little. She goes to the desk in our room and she turns on the lamp and she starts studying.
Like our room is dark, but then I went over and I turned on the lamp because I wanted to study more. What's the problem?
And then like in your mind, you're like, if someone else is studying and you're not studying, like 불안하잖아. You're like, shiz, I should be studying too.
Yeah.
And like in my mind, I was like, dude, that's such a low blow, man. Like, you're studying right now when I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, forget you. And then I just like I knocked out. I don't even know if you like slept like soon after.
You know, I probably wasn't even really studying. I probably just was trying to avoid
Yeah.
the situation. But anyways, go on.
I see. Yeah. But then the fact that you were like studying to me, I was
Yeah.
like, that pissed me off even more. I was like,
yeah.
shh, she's gonna get a better grade than me. Why do we get competitive when we're mad at each other? Like the speed on the running machine and the treadmill.
Uh-huh.
But we wake up in the morning and then it's a new day and we just like kind of look, we're like in our like bedsheet and we just kind of like look over to each other. We're like, sorry.
Yeah. With swollen eyes. That's it. That's really it. The two situations where we got into a tiff.
I feel like we're very good at just resolving things. We're honest with our feelings towards each other. For Janice is a lot more, I feel like, direct and, you know, she
Really?
kind of, yeah, I feel like with people you care, you're pretty like, hey, what's wrong? Like, it may be a little bit like, because you don't want that person to be mad at you, but still you try to get it out of that person. You're like, what's wrong? Are you mad at me? Like, you know, are you upset at me? But for me, I'm the type to like completely be like Cold War, you know? I just shut down and very passive aggressive.
Yeah. That's how you are with Josh too.
Yes. Yeah. And Josh is more like you too. He's very direct and he wants to kind of solve things head on. And I feel like that's why like Josh and I are able to resolve things well, and for you and me too, because I feel like at least one person needs to have that kind of more direct approach.
Yeah. Lots of memories in Germany. You know, I think this is a very natural segue to go into kind of some stories in Germany. I was just thinking about, like, you know, we were in a very intimate class, right? Like, it was like 25, 30 people, and we got to know everyone eventually. Yeah. And it was so much fun because, like, originally, Jess and I, like, we were like, you know, we just kind of stuck to each other. And there were definitely cliques in the group, right? There were like the cool white kids, and then, you know, the international Chinese fobs, and then like, you know, the weirdos, and then us. But like eventually, I think towards the end of the trip, like everyone thought we were cool. Like everyone liked us, right?
Which is crazy. Yeah. And we all like in some sense became friends. Like everyone knew each other.
And I just want to start with this one story. Because like
what?
There's just so much that happened in that month in Germany, Jess. But I remember like
so much.
It was so like romantic. And obviously you and I, we were in our individual relationships at the time, but being in the country, like it was so romantic, and like some romances even blossomed within our class, right? Within our classmates, which is crazy. And there's this one guy who I remember like we were at like what is it called again? That bar, the beer garden. And it was so like nice because there were families out. It was like, you know, young people, old people, like dancing to live music, just getting drunk on like beer. And it was so much fun.
Okay, really quick, at that beer garden, I think it was Munich actually.
Yeah.
Janice and I were drinking a lot and we got pretty buzzed. And I just remember it was like outdoors. So there were like benches, there's like a stage outdoors, and there's like a live band. And I just remember the live band, they were like just singing like hit songs, you know, song after song.
Yeah.
And Janice and I were just like literally like jumping and like holding each other's hands and like jumping with like German kids.
Yeah.
And like we're going crazy, and there was one point where we're like panting so hard and laughing. Do you remember that, Janice?
I do. It was like pure bliss.
And we were just like laughing, so pure bliss. Yeah. And it wasn't like a club 분위기. It was like a family outing. You know, like there were grandparents, there were kids, and like we were dancing with the kids and like 할머니, 할아버지's. Like it was so fun. But
and like the cherry on top was after like the beer garden, it started raining like a freaking movie.
Oh,
like easy to be, you know, like very light rain, and we were like, running to the hotel with all of our classmates. We're like running back. And that memory is so like vivid to me because it felt like a movie. It was so beautiful. And I remember specifically at that beer garden, right? So there was a classmate, I won't share his name, but basically there was a classmate, and he kept on like like, I don't know if it was because we were all buzzed from the beer, but like I specifically remember he was like staring at Jess with like the most like loving eyes, like 진짜 선제 looking as Hori, you know, like with heart eyes.
Uh-huh.
I was like, dude, this guy has a crush on Jess for sure. I'm gonna go to a hotel. I'm gonna tell
Mm-hmm.
her for sure. I think this guy has a crush on you, you know? And then, you know, all that happened, the rain and everything, and got to the hotel. I told you that. And you're like, dude, no, Janice.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he has a crush on you.
No, because he was looking at me like weird, and I was like,
Right?
"What the hell is he doing?"
He
Yeah,
was staring at you with
I was
love
like,
eyes.
yeah. I don't know about loving eyes, but he was like, maybe he was like trying to avoid your eyes, and so he kept looking at me. But I was like, 왜 저래? And then like later when you told me, I was like, dude, he told me he likes you.
I was so
Or
confused.
like I think he told one of the girls. I think he told Maddie or something.
Yeah,
And then Maddie was like, he told us that he likes you, Janice.
And I was like, what? He likes me?
But that same guy, I feel like Janice was like kind of like very flattered by him. What happened that made you feel an ick towards this guy?
There was a time when we had like free time from class and we all went shopping at this like huge like store, and then we all agreed, okay, let's meet here by like 5 p.m. Okay, everyone go crazy, go shopping, go wild, and just be back here by 5 for dinner so we could go eat. And then Jess and I went like buck wild crazy. Like we were going shopping in like the big store and we're so excited. And then eventually like we like kind of lost track of time. And then we went to the spot when we were a couple minutes late, but we weren't the only, actually I think we were like the first ones after the guy to meet at the spot. And he was like so pissed. And we're like, what's wrong? Why are you so mad, guy? And he was like, dude, it's late. Like people are late. I said 5 o'clock. And he was just so pissed off.
I think like after that, he was like seething in anger, and like he was obviously like really angry because usually he's like a very friendly, like talkative and like, you know, just like pretty approachable guy. But he like completely turned into a different person because he was hangry basically. And he was like so pissed that everyone didn't come at the right time, and we were like lagging. But what ended up happening was we went to like a Korean restaurant in Germany, and that was really cool too, because the Korean owners and like their daughters that worked there, they spoke Korean and German perfectly. So they were like Korean German bilinguals, and that was like really really cool to see. But anyways, we ended up going to a Korean restaurant, and then we all ordered the food, and the food happened to be really good too. And up until he ate, he was like completely silent, and like he was like kind of part of our group where we like hung out. So like we were like, what the heck is going on? Like, is he okay? Like, we're just like so confused by how different he was. And then after he got some food in his belly, he just went back to being like his, you know, old friendly self. And we're just like, dude, that was crazy. And then I remember Janice being like, oh my god, 너무 싫어. Like that's such a turn off. I freaking hate it when people are like hangry and they take it out on other people.
The thing is, everyone else was so like chill. Everyone was fine with getting dinner like, you know, a little bit later. He was the only one like 조금, you know, like 찌질하게, he was like the only one that's just pissed and seething by himself. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it's funny because my husband actually has hanger too. Serious hanger issues. But I love you, David. Quick update on my end. Actually, David and I are in Mammoth for a month right now. So as you can tell, it's a different background because we're backpacking like almost every weekend while we're here. So I'm just like working during the week, backpacking on the weekends, eating some dehydrated food that David made, and
That's
just
awesome.
enjoying nature. So I'll be here.
By the way, how is the new dehydrator?
Yeah, so David bought like a huge, nice, brand new dehydrating machine from Josh's company, and it's actually running right now. It's running very quietly. Yeah, David's investing a little bit more so he can, you know, bring some quality content on the social.
David has been gaining a lot of followers, and then I saw that like that Bart guy followed him too, right?
Yeah.
Started following him.
like all of his like you know his old YouTube hyungs that he looked up to. So yeah, if you guys don't know, my husband David, he was laid off, and so he just kind of like wanted to try something new, and he's been grinding on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and just like been uploading like his process of dehydrating food and backpacking and whatnot. And so like it's very, so far it's doing well. Like David So comedy and Bart Kwan followed him, and yeah, those two are like kind of his
Wow.
YouTube heroes when like, he grew up watching them.
Wait,
So
David saw too?
yeah,
That's crazy.
I know. So I don't know. We're taking it day by day. Don't want to get too excited, but
Yeah.
it's still exciting. And so but yeah, we're gonna like finally eat his dehydrated food on the trail. So you guys can look out for, his stories and his videos on David S.
Hmm.
Jeong. And also please follow me on It's Janice. And also please follow Jessica on TikTok. Jess Ocean, like the body of water ocean. She hasn't been posting as much. I don't know if it's because she's been a little discouraged, a little lazy, I mean, busy because she's a mom. Maybe it's a little bit of everything.
The Jungs make great content. Like, you guys have been on top of your game. Okay, really quick before we end our episode, what did you think about the last episode of Lovely Runner?
We have to talk about it. I'm sorry. We have to talk about it.
We have to conclude our Lovely Runner.
I'm glad we like kept this for the end for those of our listeners who don't care about Lovely Runner, but we have to close this chapter in our lives, okay?
We have to. Yes, we have to close our chapter, yeah.
I mean, I think this drama made zero sense, but I told you this. Their chemistry, their acting just made up everything. Like it really looked like I was convinced that they were really in love.
Yeah.
And for me, this drama is one of my insane dramas, one of my top favorite dramas of all time. I know some people might laugh, but it's truly because of their chemistry.
Yeah.
What did you think?
No, I agree. I mean, Janice uploaded this to our Honey Jam story yesterday, but I was like, dude, this story doesn't make sense. It's so yuchie, like it's cheesy. But why am I crying? Why am I so moved? And like I just felt like Sunjae, that character, like the story is basically he remembers and loves her in all timelines, no matter what. Like in any circumstance, he's going to put her life before his, and he's going to do his ultimate best to find her and love her. And just something about that is like reminds me of Jesus.
Oh, wow. That's deep, Jess.
Something about that unconditional love, someone willing to love you in any circumstance, in any timeline, is just so resounding to me, And again, yes, you're right, Janice. Their chemistry, their acting, their sincerity and passion for this drama, like I really felt it, But that damn ugly S necklace.
What are the comments like? Oh, are you sending 소리 to the military? Because it looks like a dog tag. She's like, 할 말을 잃었어. 너무 이뻐서. And then the comments are like, 이뻐서 할 말을 잃은 거 맞아? 소라?
할 말을 잃었어. 너무 구려서. Someone commented.
And also just like, this 변우석 actor, he, like for me, came out of nowhere. And I was really sad because for me, it was like, as this drama was ending, I realized I'm really saying goodbye to this character, Sunjae, who I really fell in love with, And I also think, I told you this, but I think 변우석, like it's going to be really hard for him to find a role that beats Sunjae.
Yeah.
So that's why I was sad, because I think this is it. For me and 변우석, I think this is really, like, that chapter is really closing. I think my obsession ends today.
That was a great drama. And I'm glad we both enjoyed it, Janice. Like it was, I feel like we loved it even more because we debriefed about it. We made content about it. And it was like it was a good pick me up on Mondays and Tuesdays. So 선재야 안녕.
안녕. All right, Jess, I think this is a good place to wrap up our podcast for today. Did you have fun?
I did, Janice. Always love catching up with you.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.